Hello. Today I want to talk about something quite personal. So it's something happened during my class. So before Christmas, in my in-person classes, we did something what I called loving kindness meditation. So you visualize lots of different things and basically send good thoughts. So first part of meditation goes like this. So visualize yourself as a small child. Maybe you can think of a photograph of you and tell her that may you be safe. May you be free from suffering. May you be happy and healthy. And may you have ease of being. And this part always had a little bit of sadness for me because I always thought I had quite a difficult childhood. When I was quite small, maybe 6 or 7, my parents split up. Then my mother remarried. Then she divorced again. So she worked most of the time. So in those days, most of housewives didn't work, stayed home mom. But my mom had to go to work as a single mother. And because childcare wasn't very good in those days, so I had to spend lots of time with friends, but without somebody to look after me. So I basically had to look after myself lots of times. And I always thought I had a quite sad childhood. And when I look at my photos in those days, I don't look very happy. Very few of them I'm smiling in those photos. So I always thought I had a really hard childhood. So when I do this meditation, I really love myself, my inner child as an adult. So I have to send lots of love to me as a child. Then just before Christmas, when we were doing this meditation, it just suddenly, I had this realization that I was loved. It is true that I had a little bit tough childhood, but my mother worked and we weren't poor. Maybe we were less than comfortable, but we weren't poor. I never went hungry. All my birthdays were celebrated. I went all the school trips. And there's lots of adults, my grandparents, uncles and aunties, and I was loved. But for some reason, because my childhood was a little bit tougher than the other people, I sort of somehow convinced myself that I wasn't loved. And that's actually completely untrue. And suddenly I had this realization. And I always looked a little bit sad in those photos. But maybe I wasn't sad because in those days, we didn't take many photos. We had all these cameras. You had to send away to have it developed. So we didn't really take many photos. And we weren't used to smile looking natural in the photos. So we always looked a little bit stiff. So maybe that was all it was. And looking back, I wasn't particularly sad. I had a quite happy childhood with lots of friends. It's just my family life was a little bit tough. That's all. And looking back, I realized in 80s and 90s, there's lots of psychology, popular psychology, and we had these tendencies to blame all the adulthood problems. So, failing relationship, or maybe not finding a right career path, financial problem, anything, any problem in life, we had the tendency to blame childhood, especially parents, especially not being loved by the mothers, not being loved by the fathers. So I somehow bought into this popular psychology idea that I wasn't loved as a child. And the reason I thought that way is because my mother had to work. I probably spent a lot of time more time on my own than other kids. And I just somehow thought I had a really unloved, tough childhood. But actually, as an adult, now I know that very few people's childhood is rosy. Most people had something in their life, issues going on. Very few have families are completely happy. So I had, in a way, very normal childhood. And my parents, especially my mother, did everything she could to protect me and love me. And I was loved by grandparents and relatives. So this idea just suddenly came to me, and I realized that my childhood wasn't hard. My childhood was completely normal, and there's a lot of love in my life. And probably that's what loving kindness meditation does. It's not trying to change how you see your past, or it's not trying to change the past itself, because that cannot be changed. But it lovingly encourages you to look at your past self and also look at the people around you with understanding and kindness and with acceptance. Okay, hope this resonates with you. If you have similar experience, please comment. I also wrote about this in my blog, so I put the link of my blog in the comment. Thank you for watching.